But that's where it starts for Nwpo. You know, he's one of those momentum-based players. It's you know, a bit cliche to say, but he really is. You know, once he gets going, he really does get going, and that's how he made it through the semi-final against Nas. But let's see, can he do it against Rw9? I am kind of glad I don't need to cast Nas versus Rw9. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster, and I would have probably said something silly at some point. In order for Nwpo to win this one, he is going to need to peak in offense and produce defense, the likes of which we've never seen before from him, because I don't think Nwpo's offense is levels above Rw9. I think it might be a bit better, but it's not levels above. And Rw9's defense might be levels above Nwpo, which is the issue. He has just got such a great package when it comes to defense in Rocket League. I think right now the best in the world, and yeah, look at him going offense as well. Good luck reading that. Rw9 2-0 already. But this is where it all starts for Nwpo. He's just got to take a game, he's got to prove to himself and prove to everybody that somebody can beat this guy in one game. If you can win one game, then why not win another game? Why not win another game? Got to start somewhere. Rw9 has started off the better of the two players here and comes away with a superior kickoff outcome as well. Now, I'll be repeating a couple of things I said earlier, just for anyone who's tuned in later to this tournament. If you didn't watch if you watched the Rw9 versus Clear's matchup earlier, you'll have heard me talk about Rw9 to great extent already. But really, for me, the reason, what I'm seeing from Rw9 now that I haven't seen in the past, because since he burst onto the scene, he's always been one of, if not the best goalkeepers in the game. He's always been one of the most consistent defenders and positional players, and one of the best mechanical players. These things are normal, but the reasons that I think Rw9 is now more dominant than ever, and why he's having more success than ever, is because he's more proactive. He really puts a lot more pressure on his opponents now than he used to, and he's a lot less predictable. Unpredictability is king in 1v1. It's why I'm always talking about players having to mix up kickoffs. If you're predictable, you're just going to lose. You're gonna walk into counter strategies, and that doesn't just mean kickoffs. It means everything. Everything in ones is a mind game. I think Rw9 these days plays that mind game battle to a much higher level than he used to. Oh, it's a phenomenal save there by Nwpo. Rw9 is trying to double this past him to the left, but Nwpo, from the other side of his own crossbar, managed to get an immediate block on it. Timing was immaculate on that interception, and he's on the board in game one. Yeah, look for Nwpo to test Rw9 early on here. I think he's going to try and bring the big aerials into the matchup, and I think we're probably going to see a lot of Rw9 saves as a result, and Nwpo adjusting to something a little bit less all in. Because although I was calling for Nwpo to do this against Nas, that's because I think Nwpo's offense is just a level above Nas' defense. I think if Nwpo plays his offense to perfection, he will just score, regardless of what Nas does. But for Rw9, I think his defense is capable. It's at the same level, if not higher, than Nwpo offense. So when you match up those two against each other, if Nwpo, even if he peaks, Rw9 is probably still saving the majority of his shots. And you've got to ask yourself, okay, is that risk worth the reward? Well, that one might be. Perfect flick from Nwpo. That's an absolute boomer. He didn't waste any time getting that one off. Doubled it in as well. Although I don't think he even needed the second touch on it. It was probably going to bounce in. That kind of explosivity is something he's going to need to bring to the matchup. Certainly. But for Nwpo, against Rw9, I think it's all about recoveries. He's just got to accept that some shots are going to be saved. Some shots that would go in against anyone else in the world, Rw9 is going to somehow save them, and you've got to be ready to get back into the midfield. You've got to get ready to recover and keep fighting for every possession. It's good to see Nwpo sticking to the mix-ups of the kickoff, so I think this is something that will help him. Big flick does back up Rw9 briefly there, but Rw9 quickly back into position, slots from the ground into the top corner with ease. I mean, Nwpo is one of the fastest players in the world. The Rw9 just beats him to the ball there. Just gets straight back to it after the initial flick goes over the bar. 6-2. Already a crushing scoreline in game 1. Nwpo cannot allow himself to become demoralized here. That's exactly what Rw9 wants. Trying to break Nwpo mentally early on. Nwpo is just about producing the goods in offense. There's a great 50 from Rw9. He knew the challenge was coming and absorbed it effortlessly. And the open net is a foregone conclusion. 7-2. Nwpo almost scores a banger. A low 50-50 is worth the same. They're both worth 1 goal if they go in. Rw9 just looks so confident in himself. He's got the reads, he's got the mechanics, he's got the efficiency. He's got Nwpo's number right now, 8-2. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Rw9 has already won 10 games in a row this tournament. This would be his 11th. Can he really go through this entire thing undefeated? That's something no one else in the ProDrops 1's Invitationals has done. Not even Dandroid, who had to come from the lower bracket, or he won. Rw9 really does just look like he's figured everything out, and now he bounces in a mind game for 9-2. I mentioned this a few times this weekend as well, but Rw9 has not let off the gas at all. We have a forfeit with 1 minute and 19 seconds left, and ladies and gentlemen, can you blame him? 1-0. You know, I've had a couple of people complaining about early forfeits in 1v1, but I'm going to reiterate what I've said many times in the past. I am fine with it. I think this is totally acceptable. Why play went from 2-9 down against Rw9? I mean, you're not coming back. Nwpo knows that. But the stats don't make sense here. 18 shots for Rw9 in less than 4 minutes. He was on track there for well over 20 shots. The level of efficiency that Rw9 is producing right now, his ability to turn possession into shots, is at a level I've never seen from him before. Really, like he absolutely has figured out not just how to supplement his goal line defense with a high pressure defensive style, and then he's turning that pressure into possession and turning those possessions into shots on target that really could go in at any minute. All these shots are threatening. Nwpo's done well to save that one. Rw9 is back into defense with a 100 boost, looking to do the same thing, but Nwpo's past him. 1-0 with an explosive flip reset, and a much needed one as well. He saw the pre-jump coming. He had to be careful there. You know, when you're trying to play the ball from that high above the goal, it's very easy to launch it too high over the goal. When you're that close to the goal as well, the ball might land behind you. So that had to be slotted to perfection by Nwpo. It wasn't just about going quickly, you had to be accurate with the placement as well. Okay, now 2-0. Perfect reset for Nwpo in his quest to get a game, to be the guy to beat Rw9 for the first time in this tournament. How many games did Rw9 lose in Fear's tournament? I can't remember myself. Did he go perfect in Swiss, or did somebody take a game off him in Swiss? I think it was like best of 3 Swiss, which is a format I actually really like. I think best of 3 Swiss is really good. He lost 3 games total. That's absolutely insane. He didn't even lose enough games. That was between in a best of 3 Swiss, so he went 6-0, I guess, or maybe 6-1. And then, was it full best of 7 playoffs, or did the quarterfinal start off best of 5? He didn't even lose enough games in the entire tournament on Fear's channel to lose a single best of 7. He lost none in Swiss, and then he lost, what, 1 game in every round of the playoffs? Oh, he lost 1 to Cal and 2 to Moxie, none in the quarterfinal. Wow. Who did he have in the quarterfinal again? I've forgotten who he VS in the quarters. It wasn't Clears again, was it? Did he beat Clears in both? Surely not. That would be merciless. Oh, Shadi. Yeah, Shadi. I don't know much about Shadi. Oh, big bomb. Nwpo is starting to play at the required level. When perfection is required in offense, Why not sign up this guy? That's a flip reset bump. That's insane. Absolutely brutal from Nwpo. What's crazy is Rw9 really wasn't too far away from saving this, even though it was a savage offensive drive. Rw9 shuts him down. It's plays like this that we used to never see from Rw9. They're just going for the ball, just saying, nah, I'm not going to sit back every time. I'm not going to shadow. I'm not going to go line defend every time. It's time to go because I've not done that enough, and it works. It just works. And this is something that will work in your own games in ranked. If you're trying to level up your 1v1 ability, if you prefer to shadow, if you prefer to defend like Rw9 does on the back foot, reacting to your opponent, managing your boost, surviving countless shots, then you need to sometimes go. You'll be amazed at how many positions that you think are impossible to challenge from are actually not just possible, but good to challenge from. Really nice outplay there by Rw9. Nwpo thought he was sneaking up on him, but Rw9 had eyes on him. Yeah, you've got to go. You're never going to learn what positions are ineffective to challenge from or unwise to challenge from unless you try. You've got to try and challenge from as many places as possible. Well played, Nwpo. I mean, this might not look like much. It might look like a pretty simple 50-50 goal, but that is the kind of play where all tournament long, Rw9 has been controlling the engagements and deflecting 50-50s into safe locations. So the fact that Nwpo's managed to keep that active, keep it alive in front of the goal and prevent it from deflecting into the corner is actually a really big deal. As another kickoff goal goes in as well. Nwpo doing a fantastic job from the center circle today. Yesterday, Rw9 swept him. It wasn't all that close. Nwpo playing a much better game too here. He's producing the level that he knows he needs to produce. But that shot is a bit lackluster. Rw9 will be delighted to see that because he wasn't in a fantastic position there. Rw9 surviving for the time being. Nwpo testing the woodwork. He's doing well here, just gaining micro advantages, but oh my goodness, where did Rw9 come from? Nwpo thought he was out of the game, and Rw9 surprises him with a sideways challenge. Nwpo thought he was through a goal there. Rw9 came out of nowhere. 4-5. Rw9 has had quite a few impressive endings to games. Not least against his twin brother in the previous round, where Clears sent it into overtime in the 0-second goal. Rw9 had the ice, had the consistency, had the composure to stand bravely in the face of countless threats and just calmly dispose of them. And once again, he waltzes right past Nwpo's near post defense. Nwpo darts away from a potential demo, but look at Rw9 shipping it middle without overhitting it as well. Perfect touch to tie the game once again. And this is where Nwpo needs to produce his absolute best gameplay. As another huge kickoff goes his way. Is he going to get another one? No, Rw9 is back this time. In fact, more than that. He almost made it through the counter, but the demo lands for Nwpo. The net is wide open. He's going to try and air dribble it in. He probably could have just shot that one directly, but he scores all the same. Looks like he was just a little bit worried about shooting and having Rw9 spawn at the near post and make a clutch save. So went for the air dribble, trusted himself and his mechanics, and he did get the job done. Nwpo staying on the ball. Rw9 leaves the mid boost, frightened off the direct pinch on target. Still a minute to go. Rw9 trailing, Nwpo challenging. Rw9 outplaying, but only for a brief moment. And then it's Nwpo's turn to immaculately recover. Rw9 just popping a loose shot on target. He's trying to read a fake challenge here from Nwpo, and that's exactly what it is. Rw9 gaining territory, and the shot is in. Well, that is perfect placement. What a read by Rw9 to anticipate a fake challenge from a man not known for them. And wait a minute, he actually bounced that one in as off the back post. Not sure he knew much about that. The quick chat from Rw9 would suggest he didn't mean that, but the ball's bounced off the far post and off his car and in. Now Rw9 has a big kickoff victory. Will he play for the aerial play? He anticipates the challenge, but Nwpo makes good contact. How's the bounce? It's good, but not good enough for the direct shot. He takes his time, and Rw9 is there for the save. Has boost for the follow-up as well. And Nwpo quickly gets the ball back into the middle. Rw9 wants to get a 50-50 here. Sees Nwpo retreating, and instead plays for the counter-attack. Nwpo landed pretty badly there. Had to be careful. He still has to be careful. Rw9 isn't done yet. Another aerial play. Nwpo's got 23 boost. Rw9 has the goal underneath him. Here goes for a low 50-50 on 0 seconds in a position like this. How has he kept that one up? That is outrageous. I mean, did that ball bounce? How did it cross the line? It looked like it just flew 1 millimeter off the ground, completely perpendicular for about 4 or 5 yards. I have no idea how Rw9 has kept that one in the air, but that's exactly what he's done. And once again, he remains undefeated. He's got an aura of invincibility around him that is undeniable at this point. 12 straight game wins against Middle East's best ones players. And right now, I think the entire Middle Eastern region are just phoning up TRK saying somebody's got to stop this man. Get in the 1v1 arena right now. He's making a mockery out of our entire region. What does Nwpo have to do? That wasn't even badly defended at 0 seconds. He had 23 boost. I think he did pretty well to try and force it into the ground, but it just refused to bounce. Poor Nwpo. Stepped up massively, but Rw9 did likewise. And a kickoff goal gets things started for Rw9. This is not going to be an ideal position for Nwpo as well. He had to just play that ball somewhere. Didn't want to let it bounce out into the middle. It's to have composure in these positions where both players are so close to the ball. Rw9 just doesn't care. He doesn't panic. He just stays right there, looking his opponent in the face, unbothered, completely undeterred, in his own lane, moisturized, thriving. You know the meme. Rw9 is just unstoppable. And after a painful 0 second goal, you could understand this game getting out of control early. Nwpo has to rally, and he has to rally fast. Oh, great outplay. Nwpo chips it off a reset over the top of a very well-angled challenge from Rw9. Look how he's coming in at this one. Opted to go high. Rw9 has actually read Nwpo in that play. He anticipated the play that Nwpo went for, but Nwpo, despite that fact, executed it well enough. Even though Rw9 saw it coming, it still went in, and that's not something you often see. Nwpo ties. Quick counter down the middle is all it takes. Off the back of a mistake from Rw9, so this is rare. I mean, we're seeing Rw9 perfectly read Nwpo and concede, and then we're seeing Nwpo capitalize on Rw9 missing the ball. It's often said that it's the last games in tournaments, the last games in series that are the hardest to win when you're that close to the finish line. We're yet to see if that kind of nervous position is going to take effect on Rw9. I don't think it will, but I guess that's a little bit of hopium for Nwpo fans. I'm sure if you are a Nwpo fan watching this, praying that he can make this close. It'll be one of those series where every time Rw9 has the ball, it just looks like he's going to score, and every time Nwpo has the ball, it just looks like Rw9 is going to stop him. It's just one of those, even though it's been very close. In fact, I think Nwpo's actually pull-shotted Rw9 into own goaling there. Although if Rw9 didn't, I think Nwpo would have followed through. Oh, great burst of speed there from Nwpo. He is completely surprised Rw9 there. Oh, I think actually, based on the quick chat, Nwpo may have had a controller disconnect there or something. He's faked plenty kickoffs from that position. Yeah, he has indeed capitalized on a controller DC. That is very respectful by Nwpo. He could have easily taken a goal there and not had anyone complain about it, but he's given it back. Because it looks like his controller or his internet connection has briefly lagged out, and that pause in the kickoff has caused Rw9 to not do anything, which gave Nwpo a chance to just run the ball right past him. And Nwpo doesn't want an illegitimate win here. He wants to be the first person to beat Rw9 without using any free goals, without using any accidental trickery to his favor. But will Rw9 return the favor? I don't think so. Will he give him a free goal back? Doesn't look like it. And that's a very tough air dribble bump to save, my goodness. When you look at Nwpo's POV on that one, all you can see is Rw9's car completely eclipsing the ball. You wonder, well, what are you supposed to do against that one if the opponent's got enough momentum to demo you? I mean, it is possible to allow yourself to be demoed, only then to bump your opponent into the ball at the same time. Look at this from Rw9. Tries to fake a ceiling challenge, lunges down, pre-jumps, and doesn't get back to the ball. Now, I say all that because that's something he's been doing exceptionally well all weekend. So the fact that Nwpo has managed to steer the ball out of reach of a Rw9 pre-jump recovery is definitely something to take note of. All weekend, Rw9 has been pre-jumping and then flying back down into perfect 50-50s when opponents try and dribble the ball past him. But not that time. Nwpo, all the way into the bottom corner, continues to fake kickoffs. This time Rw9 with a wave dash shot will sneak one by him. He's taken a couple of tries. But I mean, when Nwpo's just blatantly faking like this, he's not trying to make it look convincing at all. He is just driving forward marginally. And it is slightly different from earlier on where he was completely paused, I think, on a controller DC. I mean, Rw9 can see it coming. It's all about just getting a little bit of play on the ball before Nwpo can advance forwards. Getting a little bounce to play with, getting the ball on top of the car. Well, that's where it is now. Rw9 with the reset decides to try and mind game Nwpo, who's not falling for it. Nwpo up by 1 again. He's just like in the last game, keeping it as close as he can, trying to be as consistent as he can. He's relied very much on his midfield play here, not the big all-in aerial plays that we saw work against Nas. Nwpo's adjusted. He's a player who's far from a one-trick pony. He's got different lanes to go to. Oh, well, that's not a mechanical misplay. I think Rw9 is just going to dribble the ball wide intentionally there. And then tries to score it when Nwpo's back. Nwpo with a crazy save, and he should be scoring here. Has he given the time for Rw9 to recover as well? Well, this is fascinating because I think both players are showing each other a lot of respect by not taking open nets there. I think they both acknowledge that they'd rather play from midfield than take the cheap goals immediately after an accidental thumb slip on a kickoff. So what happened is Nwpo thumb slipped on his flip, accidentally single jumped, and Rw9 didn't want to take a free goal, and then Nwpo got a pretty crazy post pinch save that he also acknowledged was probably a little bit fortunate. Didn't want to take a free goal either. And then Rw9 is the one who scores for when both players are actually ready and playing the game in a conventional position. So lots of respect between these two players. Nwpo had the whole goal covered on Rw9's floor pinch. Rw9 going to go up again for the second shot, and it looks like Nwpo underestimated that one. So why wasn't he back for the save? Yeah, he just didn't think Rw9 was going to go. Nwpo thought it was his ball, thought Rw9 had exited the play to the midfield. Honestly, I'm not sure why you would think that, because that ball looked very much like it was either players to play for. And Rw9 is rarely running dry and boost from midfield plays, whether it's defense or attack. Rw9 unable to get between Nwpo and his intended target there. It's actually a very good dribble by Nwpo. It doesn't look like much, but the fact he's able to get that much of an angle on a shot that quickly, very surprising from what essentially was a dead ball. Okay, kickoff works out well for Nwpo here. Crunches an immediate shot on target. Rw9 has to lunge up to save it. Gets a good bit of distance on the clear though. And he's straight away able to get another couple of touches in the midfield, grinding Nwpo's follow-up attack into a halt. A beautiful fake challenge by Rw9. Nothing invested there. He just simply drove in a circle and convinced Nwpo that he was going. And it afterwards easily dodges a demo. He's made Nwpo look pretty silly there. Nwpo concedes possession and then overextends. All while getting nowhere near Rw9, who leads by a goal. in his hunt for his 13th straight win in the tournament. Rw9 off the ground now. Oh, perfect shot. Nwpo saved it well and recovered immaculately to deny Rw9 any kind of follow-up. Perfect timing on the follow-up there, though, from Rw9. And Nwpo did not expect the immediate shot. Nwpo probably thought Rw9 was going to take a touch here. Rw9 just shoots it straight at him. But notice how he times that challenge right as Nwpo's landing. If your opponent's not pogoing, that is the perfect time to challenge, because they can't really do anything to the ball. They're not going to get any other touches on it. I mean, even if your opponent is pogoing, it's a decent time to challenge, just a little bit higher to counter the higher impact point in the ball. 2-goal difference. Rw9 with 10. Nwpo with 8. It's a high-scoring game. But still, Rw9's favourite, as every game has been, and now he's playing for the clock. Final 30 seconds. What can Nwpo conjure up in an attempt to come back late in a game and do what no one else has done in this tournament? Well, that'll do. What a contact that is. Nwpo rips in a wall shot from the back corner. Yeah, it might just look like a simple shot, but that placement had to be ideal. If he hits that ball too low or too high, it could easily bounce off target. Nwpo absolutely clangs it and gives himself a chance, and a good chance it's going to be. Aerial play for Nwpo, sitting up nicely for him, and he slots it. He clutches up and makes it a 20-goal game. How often do you see that in a Rw9 matchup? Unbelievable by Nwpo to produce a shot of that quality with all the pressure on him. He's down 2 games, down 2 goals, brings it back to a tie. What's his reward going to be? Is he going to get any kind of luck here? Rw9 is all over him, but oh, the ball just doesn't go up in the air early enough. Second try at the kickoff. It's going to be Rw9's favourite. The ball and the boost are his. Nwpo thought about challenging early, but not really anything going for him there. Now here comes Rw9 advancing. He's got Nwpo backwards to the ball, limiting his options. The boost seal is there. It's a safe one. Nwpo's boost management is good. Has he got the wherewithal to come up with something that will surprise Rw9 in an overtime situation? It's the first time we've gone to OT in the matchup. Here comes Rw9 for another challenge. He's playing the ball from safe angles every single time, and I think he's got Nwpo at play here. What a recovery by Nwpo, mid-air, and the counter-attack is there as well. Well, that is unbelievable. How on earth did Nwpo get back to that ball? It looked like he was going to get tripped, and that the goal would just be Rw9's to take. But somehow, some way, Nwpo has recovered mid-air, saved the ball in such a way that he can not only recover but score on the counter-attack. Well, if that's what it takes to beat Rw9, fair play. Fair play to both of these guys. Nwpo has dug deep there and come up with something truly special, and not something you'd expect from him as well. If he scores a triple reset, no one's going to be all that surprised. That's what we expect from a player like Nwpo. But to pull out a save like that, I mean, switch the nameplates, everybody's going to think that's Rw9. That was unbelievable. Rw9, if you didn't notice, did credit him with the what a save in the quick chat, which I'm sure was genuine. Datlock, thanks to the Prime, by the way, and also the Gadman, thanks to the 4-month Prime. Welcome to the channel, everybody, for the grand final, the AMENA 1's Invitational by ProDrops. That game is the first game that Rw9 has lost all weekend. And now Nwpo is going to try and build on that win. Said it's baby steps, 1 game at a time. Well, now, can he do one more? Can he go one better? Can he keep surprising Rw9 in ways no one else has been able to? Well, not with flicks like that he won. With recoveries like that, perhaps. The open net is good enough. Well, Nwpo capitalizing on what was essentially a failed flick there, but Rw9 played a bit greedily, didn't get the ball or his car to safety, and he will suffer the consequences. That's a hilarious comment. these people kind of mid. That is a genuinely hilarious comment that I hope it's genuine. I hope it's genuine. It makes me happy to think that there are people somewhere in the world that don't know how good Rw9 and Nwpo are. And I'd love to see, like, anyone who thinks that this play is mid, I would love to see your list of players that you think would clap both of these guys. I'd love to see it. There's not enough comic relief in my life at the moment, so please send me your lists. If you think this play is mid, send me your lists of players who you think would clap both of them. I would love a good laugh on a Sunday night. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic stuff. Well, Nwpo will feel all the confidence in the world, I think, after winning one game. It's crazy to say, but after ending a streak like that, his confidence is going to be an all-time high. So he knew that Rw9 was on an incredible run of form, and the fact that he did it in the way that he did, you know, having to score so many goals past the best defender in the world and succeeding all the same, it's got to feel pretty good. Good read there by Nwpo. Rw9 trying to back him up with a fake jump, but Nwpo's not having any of it. He is done being bullied in the matchup. He's done being second best. Whoa, okay. Well, that is special from Rw9. How's he managed to get so much height on that? Looked like he was behind the ball, but he flew under it and chipped it over Nwpo, who's lunging in for the challenge. Well, Nwpo didn't expect that one. I think he was probably anticipating a wave dash shot. Rw9 actually got under the ball and kind of flicked it over Nwpo's challenge. Great positioning by Rw9 there. He will score a third. Ties the game. A little bit careless by Nwpo there to underestimate Rw9 in that position. Got to expect Rw9 to have at least some touch on a ball like that. Nivalent Lee, thanks for the Prime. Welcome back to the channel. Well, Nwpo just not showing respect there. Great challenge. He completely disguises his approach. They're coming in, goal side on the ball. Perfect timing on the jump. I mean, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing special, but it's a great challenge selection for a position like that. When you realize that the ball is directly between you and your opponent, and it's either on top of their car or directly in front of their car, that's as good a time as any to just rush a challenge. And if you are going to do that, the key is to just play the ball. Don't go too high. I've seen so many players trying to rush challenges and they jump way too high, and these days you're just walking into low 50-50s if you do that. You've got to just play the ball, and if the other guy flicks it over you, fair play. Like, fair play, they've outplayed you, but don't pre-jump, don't double jump, pre-jump, don't go crazy. Just go for the ball. Just play the ball. Nwpo's picked his spots brilliantly in this game. Actually got Rw9 looking a little bit confused at times, but Rw9 still deadly at all moments. Very good clean touch there by Rw9. Had to be careful not to be demoed as he approached that one. Big kickoff win for Nwpo. Aerial play as well. There is that patented Rw9 recovery where he just dives down after initially starting off pretty high with his defensive positioning, and he dunks in Nwpo. Not really much Nwpo could have done about that one. Both players mirroring each other's wall dashes as they advance from one side of the field to the other. One thing I've actually been hoping to see, guys, is I noticed Rw9 tweeted out that they were looking for scrims against international competition on the EU server. That's something I would love to see. I'm really hoping we get to see Rw9 play against international teams, albeit in scrims. But it would also be kind of cool to see like some kind of tournament. I'm not sure. I know Rental did a tournament before the Fall Major last year. It'd be kind of cool to see a tournament for like Rw9 against maybe one team from SAM, one team from OCE, possibly even James Cheese. You know, got all the other regions in a wee tournament. before the major happens. What do you guys think about that? Would you like to see something of that effect? Oh, wow, what a recovery by Nwpo again. This is something I'm so impressed by, the fact that he's able to produce Rw9 quality defense at times in this matchup. He's still down by 2 here. Rw9 has been unbelievably clinical in game 4. Some of these saves by Nwpo. Oh my goodness, what a snapshot that is, from almost no momentum to create some play on the ball and then immediately shoot it. Look at that power he's able to generate from such an awkward position. Thompson Flopson, thanks to the tier 1, welcome to the channel. Nwpo just hanging on here, trying to get us into a close series again. He knows if it goes 3-1, it's going to be a long way back. He did come back from 3-1 down against Nas. I think 3-1 down against Rw9 will be a different thing entirely. And that's where we're headed. Nwpo loses control. He was in a bit of a rapid, frantic approach there, looking to confuse Rw9, but he more confused himself by the looks of things. Nwpo with 100 boost and a back wall air dribble. This usually means he's scoring. And against Rw9, that remains true. 7th goal for Nwpo, another goal glut in a matchup that's proven to be even closer than we could have hoped. Rw9 just not giving Nwpo 2 in a row. Anytime Nwpo gets 1 goal back, he just wants a kick-off possession. Rw9 isn't giving it to him. He's playing keep away here. No boost there for him to steal. He's a bit early for that. It will spawn for Nwpo in the retreat. That's a bit of a mistake there from Rw9. He's not going to concede off the back of it. In fact, he's going to be the one scoring, but briefly there, he allowed Nwpo back into the play. Played across the box for the boost steal. Before the boost was there, it spawned for his opponent. But Rw9 is too quick to the punch anyway. Still 2 goals to the good. Nwpo, just when he thought he was about to break free of defense, got trapped there. Oh, but mistake from Rw9. Nwpo's through with a simple wall shot. That is something you don't see almost ever. I mean, Rw9 saw him coming. He checked twice to see where Nwpo was. He could see him coming. I can only imagine that Rw9 was expecting Nwpo to turn. And it was such a blatant approach from Nwpo that it worked, but it has worked either way. Less than 10 seconds to go. Rw9 air dribbling to waste almost all the remaining time. Ball's 50-50 into a decent position here though. Nwpo's going to be up for this, but so's Rw9, and he beats him to it. And he has 3 match points. His undefeated game streak is over, but he's still the massive favourite to take the tournament. I think either way, whatever result we get here, Nwpo can be pretty happy with how he's played this. I think forcing Rw9 to win a game with a 0-second goal, going into overtime in another game, and now playing close in a 4th, it's a much better showing for Nwpo than when they played in the group stage. When these two played in the group stage, it was a fairly one-sided affair. Rw9 didn't dominate in scorelines. Well, the first game he did, it was 9-1, 7-5, 8-6. So 2 2-goal games and a thrashing. In this series, we've had 1 thrashing. That was game 1. So it seems like Rw9 now always going to start with Nwpo thrashing him. But after that, Nwpo's been completely 50-50 with him. It really has been on a knife edge. 0-second winner. Then Nwpo with a win. In a very tense game right before this one, where Nwpo just couldn't get the game tied up. Oh, a nice mind game by Nwpo. Rw9 just going to fly right by. He probably wants me to skip the replay of this. So no, Rw9 is watching. He was watching his own replay. Big misplay by Rw9. He tried to chip the ball, it looks like. Now that's the risk you run when you try and make precision touches in defense. You might just miss and look pretty silly. Well, I'm not sure why Nwpo's faking a challenge here. Careless defensive plays by both. But the result is a 1-1 tie. Both players trying to push the ball to the outside in the kickoff. Rw9 commits more. Lean back reset is his. Full control on the air dribble here. What a pre-jump by Nwpo. Rw9 had the top shelf, top corner, locked in. Nwpo saves, spots the early challenge from his opponent. And a gorgeous chip into the middle. Sets up the lead for Nwpo. Perfect defense there. Followed up by the awareness to spot the rare Rw9 rush challenge. Nwpo expecting Rw9 to save shots like this one, but it's not about the goal, it's about the boost steal. Then he's going to get into the air where Rw9 can't follow him. Well, that was happening. Rw9 was circling the edge of the box, picking up small boost pads, and he was able to get back to the ball. Rw9 again, trusting his mechanics, trusting his speed, even against Nwpo, to beat him in the air. Fake reverse challenge there by Rw9. Nwpo bit on it. And he's got boost to work with here, but still not a losing position for a player like Rw9. This would be a losing position for most players, but for Rw9 that's fine. 20 boost in defense, not an issue. And he has turned it around all the same, and that's just too good. Rw9 fakes an immediate shot, actually wave dashes to cut it into the middle, and he's got an open net after the fact. Well, you don't get much more of an angle change on an approach than that one. 2-2 to tie the game as well. Nwpo's pushing Rw9 to the limit here, but it seems like Rw9's limit might be sufficient. It's a good turn there by Nwpo. Again, he won't anticipate goals from this range, but trying to force Rw9 into awkward positions. Look at Rw9's ability to get back to the ball. I mean, Nwpo thought surely this is going to be his to play, but Rw9 beats him to it with a slippery slide off the back of the goal. And not for the first time, effortlessly chips the ball past him in the back corner. Finally, a little bit of space after a kickoff for Nwpo, but once more, Rw9 saves and gets back to the ball effortlessly. It's completely automatic for him to just have the perfect recovery in positions like this. How's the bounce here? That's not ideal, but Rw9 still reads it. I mean, that was a tricky one. He didn't make it easy on himself. Rw9 on hard mode, still making defense look easy. And look at this. This is just insane. No one else is pre-jumping that high and still getting a solid 50 when the opponent switches low. Rw9 really doing it at a different level at the moment, but Nwpo finds a way through. If going low doesn't work, Nwpo goes high. That's a fantastic contact, using the back end of the car. He had to dive down there with the boost, pointing this car downwards to get low on the ball, and then had to be precise with the back end of the car to kind of not flick it, but get a solid hit on it from a fair distance and quickly. Rw9's saves have still just been absolutely perfect in this game. Whenever he's required to make a touch into the crossbar and recovered on the underside of his own goal, he's nailed it every single time. But Nwpo's not overextending. He's not underestimating Rw9, who again, completely, perfectly finds the balance between pre-jumping and staying low enough to block his opponent in a dangerous position. And once more, Rw9 makes that save, gets a little boost pad or two, and this time he will counter-attack. I mean, he just does not make it easy on you, does he? Nwpo's misplayed this. He tried to get some kind of weird touch on the turn there, and I think he got a little bit ahead of himself. But even before then, I mean, so many players, pretty much anyone else in the world is going to concede or end up in a very, very precarious position from these approaches Nwpo's using. He's not making it obvious if he's going high, low, left, right. He's really deceiving, or being as deceptive as he can, being as, I think, as free-flowing as he can on these approaches. But Rw9 is surviving. He's missed a boost though, a bit of a scenic route back for Rw9 there. Nwpo, quick to capitalise. Yeah, not sure don't think that boost grab was advised. Even if Rw9 got the mid boost there, I think Nwpo's still slotting the shot. So he's got the tie game. He's really had to work for goals in this one. It's been a stunning display of Rw9's defense. Can Nwpo match him? Not this time. And you can clearly see the difference when Nwpo lands in defense. A little bit out of boost, he just doesn't look as comfortable. I mean, that was a position where Rw9 has been in a few times, and he just drives around on the small pads, picks him up and survives. Nwpo panics, wave dashes forward, lands out of position, and has nothing for the shot. 40 seconds remaining. Can Rw9 win in 5? Nwpo with a banging double from the near post. Says not yet. Wow, he absolutely nailed that one. He had a reset on it as well. That's unbelievable. The accuracy to reset on the ball while launching it into the backboard. And then absolutely slamming the shot past the defended near post. Nwpo knows anything other than perfection will be saved. So, perfection it is. Nwpo also bringing up the goods in defense. Does he have what it takes to get across the finish line in this game? It feels like every game is a series in itself for Nwpo. He's surviving for now. It's been himself on the comeback for the majority of this one. He's not got a bad position for himself here. Might try and make something happen in 0 seconds. Actually, both players quite happy to go into overtime. It is a straight spawn, so midfield play is likely. And that's what we're going to get. Both players will have 100 boost off this play. Rw9 didn't have much time to set up pressure on the ball. Nwpo's coming at him. Rw9 does get the save. Nwpo beats him to it. Now how's the recovery? Both players looking to speed flip into position. Rw9 just about gets it to safety, but he is really stretched thin on boost here. Looking for the small pads. Nwpo trying to find a way through. Looks for the low 50-50, but again Rw9 shows a mastery of these positions, absolutely unparalleled. How has he managed to deflect that ball to safety multiple times without going too high on these challenges? Nwpo still piling on the pressure, still coming at him. Rw9 still denying every single opportunity. This is defense, the likes of which you're not going to see from any other player. And now Rw9, first real chance of OT, looks to go infield, but Nwpo closes the door. Shot is on target, Rw9 easily saves it. Nwpo missed the boost steal, goes back for mid, misses that as well. The backcourt is there for him, and now here comes Rw9, and a panic flip from Nwpo seals the deal. Rw9 defends like a man whose life depends on it. Conjures up composure and a mastery of positions other players would be panicking in. And then the first real chance, well maybe second real chance he gets, is all it takes for him to force Nwpo to panic. You can see the difference in composure there. Rw9 on almost no boost so many times, and he's just fine, playing the positions out to perfection. And then Nwpo, out of boost, panicking, missing big boost pads, panic flipping on the spot. I mean, there's the difference between these two players, ladies and gentlemen. I think Nwpo's got a slightly better offense, but Rw9's defense clears. He is simply the best in the world.